Hey guys, it's Rob here. Rather recently, whilst I was working, Nintendo decided they'd host a direct in which they'd reveal paid DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They announced that the DLC will include 48 remastered tracks, coming in 6 waves or batches, and each wave will have about 8 courses each, up until the end of 2023. Wave 1 will be available March 18th, and I decided with this news, being a hardcore casual speedrunner of the game and someone who's been like a long time fan of the series, that I should probably give my thoughts and anticipations on this. It's kind of weird to think that this was a game that I got in early 2014, and I later bought DLC for it, which I also managed to purchase a deluxe port of it in 2017 due to having a lack of games on my Nintendo Switch at the time. But it's even more weird to think that this was a game that I got in 2014 and I later bought DLC for, which I also purchased a deluxe port of in 2017 due to having a lack of games on my Nintendo Switch at the time. And now in 2022 of all years, it's getting paid DLC of its own in the form of 48 tracks that will be going until the end of 2023. Now bear in mind that these DLC tracks have been stated to be remastered tracks from across the series coming to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which means that we technically won't be getting anything we haven't seen in Mario Kart before, but obviously each of these tracks would have their own little twists and tweaks on them to make them feel more like an 8 Deluxe track. I tweeted earlier a list of what the courses we'll be getting in Wave 1 are, but just to recap that for you, they're going to be Tour Paris Promenade, 3DS Toad Circuit, N64 Choco Mountain, Wii Coconut Mall, Tour Tokyo Blur, DS Shroom Ridge, GBA Sky Garden, and Tours Ninja Hideaway. So disregarding these, there's an additional 40 tracks that need to be revealed to us, and I have a few tracks that I'd definitely put as preference being on that list. One track I'd really like to see would be a deluxe version of Cooper Cake, for instance. I just think it would be really fun to go into that anti-grav kind of section in the pipe and, be able to drive upside down there, and I think that'd add a really nice dynamic to that track. I think it'd also be pretty fun to have item boxes spread out more around that track, in terms of like in the pipe when you could go upside down or something, have item boxes specifically for if you go in the upside down section, whereas if you have the water still giving you that speed boost like you did in the Wii version, you'd kind of be trading off, do I want to get items or do I want to get speed? And I think that'd be a really interesting idea. Some other tracks that I think would be really fun to add like a little twist to or have back for their chaotic races would be like Waluigi Pinball, because that track has like some of the most dynamic path taking you can have. And also I'd really like to see the Wii version of Rainbow Road come back, especially because I would love to hear that coming back into the Mario Kart series with an orchestrated soundtrack, because it just has like a really nice track. In fact, most of the Rainbow Road tracks do. So I think that would be definitely like 3 of my preferences. Another track that I would really like to have back is Wario Coliseum from Double Dash. Wario Coliseum from Double Dash would be one of those really interesting ones where they could potentially split it into being, instead of a 3-lap race around the track 3 times, they could break it up into sections like they do on the N64 Rainbow Road, where part of the track would be a lap and break it up that way. I also really think that would have some amazing use of the anti-grav, so I think that should be definitely considered to come back. And I do think Double Dash deserves a bit of love, seeing how it was mostly missing at the start of the release of Mario Kart 8. So yeah, I do think that we should potentially have some more courses like Dino Dino Jungle coming back. And actually, speaking of Dino Dino Jungle, there's a little thing interesting about that, is that it was Diddy Kong's course in Double Dash back in the day. And that's kind of a problem, because where on earth is Diddy Kong in this game? Like, why isn't Diddy Kong in this game? They should just add Diddy Kong in this game as DLC, right? Like, there's no Diddy Kong, there's no Birdo, or hell, there's not even Captain Falcon, and that's a problem. So when Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U got its DLC, It had 8 tracks released at a time, kind of like how they're doing it now, except some of them were even brand new, and it also came alongside 3 characters. And this time all we're getting is just old tracks that are being brought back into the series. Personally, I'd love to play this game as a character like Pauline or Hammerbro, and I'd even like to see some characters get unique costumes as like in-game rewards, ones that aren't locked behind paywalls specifically. Hell, I'd even love getting the wheels from the Cooper King car from Double Dash, the ones that have kind of the flame and a spike. I think that'd be really cool. I'd also think that they should be reintroducing my nostalgia-driven Diddy Kong, because he should come back again, because it's about time to, and it would really put me in the mood of playing this game more. Overall though, I am pretty happy that this game is getting 48 tracks, and I think that's pretty neat. Like, that is literally double what we already have, and I think it's great that this game is getting the support that it truly deserved, being the 7th most sold game of all time, technically, across both versions. But my issue with this is that it almost feels like they're under-delivering on the precedence that's been set. Because, as I said, the precedence was 8 tracks at a time with characters, and we've had no announcement of characters coming back like Diddy Kong. Another problem I have with this game is that I do feel bored of the roster, and I was kind of hoping for more excitement to come with that. So I guess that's why I am complaining about characters not being present so much. Like, for instance, let's talk about this game's roster, okay? So in this game's roster, there are a bunch of characters which are Koopalings, and the Koopalings aren't bad. They're still unique from each other, but I personally don't feel a strong desire to play them. That's just, me personally. But one I will complain about, and I think this is kind of fair, and I don't think this is unjustified, is that parts of the roster are literally just Mario or Peach with a costume. Like, you have Mario and Peach, then you have Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach, and you also have Cat Peach and Tanuki Mario, it's just Mario and Peach. Like, those should be costumes like it is on Yoshi or Link. So I wanted to put in a little bit of a comparison for people who aren't aware, and what I wanted to compare this to was Super Smash Bros. With Fire Emblem, okay? Because realistically what we've got is the same situation. Because in Super Smash Bros. Melee, there were 2 Fire Emblem characters at the time. There was Marth and there was Roy. Okay, now Roy was technically a clone of Marth at the time. That was because he was, in a game that was rushed in development, and you can definitely see that the game was rushed in development because the Fire Emblem characters didn't even have their Arcania stage. It was never put into the final game because Sakurai and his team just didn't have enough time to develop that stage properly, and they didn't have enough time to develop Roy being his own unique character. So they borrowed a lot from Marth. So, that's completely fine. The game was rushed, and we know it was rushed, but it's still, it was still nice to have that representation. But fast forward to Smash Bros. On the Wii U, we have Lucina introduced, who is literally a clone of Marth, but with the tipper mechanic removed. Now, that was all well and good, because you had Marth and you had Lucina, and that was fine. But then they reintroduced Roy as DLC, and so what we ended up with was 3 characters who were essentially the same. And I know Roy's moveset was built a little bit differently, but for those people who were seeing it from the Melee eyes, they were seeing Roy as a clone of Marth still. And then that got a little bit worse when we go to Smash Ultimate, fast forward a little bit more. And Crom's introduced. And he's literally just, a Echo Fighter of Roy. So now we've got a Marth character, we've got a clone of Marth with no tipper, we've got a clone of Marth from Melee, and we've got a clone of the clone of Marth. Like, that's what this feels like in Mario Kart 8. It's like Mario and Peach are the Fire Emblem characters. Now, I know I went on a little bit of a tangent there with Super Smash Bros., but I do think Super Smash Bros. Have set sort of a precedence that the rest of Nintendo mainline series games and console sellers specifically, that these games should try and be achieving somewhat similar. And I don't mean that in terms of like do exactly like Sakurai did, because that would be pretty absurd. But in saying that, I do think that Mario Kart is at the point where it should start preparing to be the biggest game. It should be the top selling racing game on all platforms. And it can get to that point. It almost is that point. But I feel like to get to that point, it needs to have a more inspired roster like Smash Bros. Does. And I think what they are doing now is they're actually getting ready for Mario Kart X per se, X being like a random number. They're getting ready for that to kind of release with upscale stages. Courses. I'm still thinking Smash-like. The reason I say this though is because what they'll typically do in this situation is they'll kind of work on this DLC with a smaller team, whilst the development and planning is starting on the next Mario Kart game. So what they might actually be doing is they might actually be remastering more courses than what they're actually going to give to us, and they'll be preparing that to come out in the next Mario Kart game, along with some other characters and stuff, I hope, but that's just me hoping. That's nothing confirmed. So I'd also really like to hear your thoughts. Do you think I'm being a bit harsh on Nintendo here, or do you agree with what I've said? Are you sad that Diddy Kong hasn't had an impact on this Mario Kart game like he should have? Or do you think Diddy Kong's Nintendo 64 racing game is going to have more of an impact on Mario Kart in the future? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, and do consider subscribing, because I do intend on bringing out a lot more content this year. So let me know how this goes, let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for watching till the end. Bye!